computer. Good morning, Holly. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. How's it going?
It's going good. We are on week 2 of our gratitude challenge. So, what we want to do is be full disclosure. If you signed up after November 10th, our system is having a little delay and we weren't able to download the new people. So, as soon as the system comes up and we can download the new people, we will send you the new email. So, in the meantime, we could do one or two things. I will share my screen with you, or I can get Holly to cut and paste the email into the chat so that way you can kind of see it, and then that way you can feel like you're part of it. And so send us some emojis and tell us which would you prefer, because if anything, I think this goes so well with our gratitude challenge. The word is strength, so we're all going to have the strength to pivot and not let what's slowing us down keep us from moving forward. And I have to take this key line from the show. This key line from the show I'm been watching, and there's this motivational speaker, and he's talking about sometimes you just got to flip the switch. So we're gonna flip the switch today, and we're gonna put it in the chat, and then that way everyone can be happy the way you see it and you know what it is. And Holly, if you don't mind, just cut and paste the email in there, and that'll.
Way ahead of you, big dog. I'm almost
Okay,
there.
good. And I'm going to go to share my screen. And this is truly why a good example of how gratitude is so important. I'm grateful for you all being patient with us. I'm grateful for you all to be willing to make the shift with us as we don't have everything in place. And so, what we're doing is flipping the switch in a different way. It may not have come to you in an email, but it's going to come to you on the screen, and it's also going to be in the chat for you. So if you had already signed up before November 10th, you should have an email and it went out this morning. Okay. And so, Holly, do you, with our word being strength, do you have anything that you want to share? What experience has made you stronger, even if it was hard?
Ooh, that's a good question. What experiences made me stronger, even if it was hard?
And while Holly's thinking, you all put in the chat. You can do something very simple. It doesn't have to be something very personal, but it's a good thought. What made you? What experience made you stronger, even if it was hard?
Oh my God, you know what? It's such an easy answer. I literally switched career fields when I was like 24,
Yes.
which is hilarious. But yeah, I started out in education and that's when I lived in San Antonio. I think I've mentioned that a couple times. But I started in education and then I wanted to get into fitness because I was personal training in the evenings because teachers famously don't make a lot of money.
Right.
And so I decided to get my master's and I did that in England, which was also terrifying because I was like, what if I don't make any friends?
Right.
And so that like entire, I would say like 2 kind of year period ended up being like one of the highlights of my life, obviously. So yeah, very
Yes.
cool.
Yes. And then I really appreciate you all sharing in the chat, what experience made you stronger. And mine is a little teary-eyed, so I can't say mine yet. We'll keep working on Jules speaking on it. But one person that did kind of hit kind of close is she said she lost her mom and now she's having to be stronger. So that one is really close to home for me. And one person is saying, move across the country for a job. Oh my gosh, yes.
For this job, let's go.
And one person says, speaking at my sister's funeral. If that doesn't take courage, I don't know what does. I mean, sending out love to the individual that shared that information, because that is so freaking hard. So you all make sure to send some emojis, send some love to these folks. And another person said surviving cancer, not once but twice, but three times. All right, Rhonda,
Dang,
thank you.
Rhonda, let's
Thank
go.
you. Thank you. Sending out kudos to you. Y'all send some heart outs because a lot of people have experienced things to where yes, it was bad in the moment, but what I always like to say, how did you come out on the other side? What made you stronger? So, if you're watching this recording, I want you to really dive deep with this question. It may have been a hard experience, it may have been a bad experience, a sad experience, but whatever it is, just see how do you come out on the other side of it? What did you learn from it? And one of the things I always like to say is turn the cube. We look at the cube, we look at a situation, we're like, it's all I see. It's hard, it's hard, it's hard. But if we turn it from the other side, just to be optimistic, how can we be more optimistic about this situation? You get a second chance, you get help from people who really truly care. You survive something that you didn't think you could make it through. You are able to be brave when you thought you were going to just squeak down and not be strong. Deidre put retiring. That's a whole new chapter change. I don't even know if I'm ready for that. I'm eligible, but I don't know how to turn the cube on that one. So I'm not ready yet, Deidre. So, yeah, I mean, these are all good points. Just forging your way through when it's hard. Divorce is hard. I mean, that's like a new chapter change. What do they say? Change of life. So definitely.
Seriously. I
So,
also want to shout out Jolie because we do have a second cancer survivor in the chat.
oh, thank you
So,
so much for seeing that for me. I appreciate
yeah,
it.
let's
So,
go, guys.
send out some hearts to everyone on here because we are a community that supports each other. We cheer each other on. So just take a moment and find that emoji tab and just send some emojis out to our fellow folks because we're really here to support each other. We're grateful for you being here and we just appreciate you taking the time to do this. And with our word of today being strength, it's not always the physical part. Sometimes it's the mental part, being mentally strong. So really focus on this today because one of our pillars of gratitude is how do we come out on the other side. So keep that in mind. And then before we turn it over to Holly, I want us to make sure that we make time at the end to do our affirmation. So, Holly, I'm going to turn the movement over to you. And thank you, everyone, for sharing in the comments.
Yeah. And as we're getting weights, I do want to share I have one friend who every time we're in like a tough phase of life or whatever, she would always say, you have a 100% success rate against everything you've ever faced, which
Yes.
was always like in the moment when you're upset or whatever, you're like, okay, that's not what I want to hear. But
Yes.
or you're
Yes.
like, everything else was fine. This is the hard thing. But
Right. I like
it's
that.
one that's like always kind of funny to me. All
I'm going to
right.
get my weights and I'll let you get started.
Yes. Everybody grab a set of weights. We're going to do upper body. So choose your weights with that in mind. I'm going to go light. All right. I figured since we're talking about strength today, it's only appropriate that we do a little bit of strength work. So that's what we're going to start with. So to warm that guy up, let's just go ahead and start stretching out the shoulders just a little bit. So we're going to bring hands to heart center, reach all the way up, and then make a nice big circle, bringing those elbows down, and then bringing back to heart center. So we're just going to do 5 of those big circles. So it's sort of like diving into a pool that's somehow above you. Just put those hands together. Dive in, lead with the elbows on the way down, lead with the hands on the way up, and breathe just at some point, That's perfect. And I think this is 4 for me. It might be 5, but we'll just do 1 extra just to be safe. Lead with the elbows on the way down. All right, shake those guys out, and then we're going to go hands to the back of the head and just start to warm up that bent over position. So a couple of good mornings, because as always, it is a good morning after all. So just rep those guys out. And if you're seated for this, it is one that you can do with one leg straight and one leg bent. So both totally work as long as we're just getting a little bit of movement on those hamstrings, maybe warming up the low back a little bit. And speaking of warming up the low back, this is not quite lower body, but I love these. We're going to do a couple of Jefferson curls. So Jefferson curl is basically just like a really bad deadlift, but it's not weighted, so it's okay. So we're going to go pinkies to the front side of the legs, press down the entire time. So we're going to end up with a really shrimpy upper back. And then you're going to follow through all the way as far down as you can reach. And then as you come up, you're thinking about leading with the spine. So poke all of those little vertebrae up as far as you can. Squeeze your little butt. Come up, take a breath. Let's do 2 more of those for good measure, total of 3. So pressing the pinkies down, that helps you remember to keep those vertebrae up nice and strong. And again, we're trying to get really, really round here. And that's going to make 2. We come up, we take that nice deep breath. And as we let it out, we go into rep number 3. All the way down. Should get a little bit of a stretch on those hamstrings, a little bit of a stretch on the back. And all the way up. Take that breath, let it out. Okay, upper body time. So let's go ahead and start back in the bent over position. So we're going to do some bent over rows. So we're going to get bent over at the hips. Again, if you want like a wall behind your butt, that always makes it a little bit easier to stay in a good position. But we want to be pretty parallel, not perpendicular, pretty parallel to the ground. We're going to pull the elbows up. Weights are going to finish by the belly button. And then on the way down, it's 1, 2, 3, keeping those shoulder blades pinched. So up at normal speed, 1, 2, 3 on the way down. And we're going to keep repping this out until we get to 10. So this for me is 4. Nice and slow on the way down. 5. Keep it up. We got 5 left. Staying strong in that body position. Nice strong core. Breathing steadily with the weight so we can inhale on the way up. Exhale on the way down. And I lost count because I started talking. So let's call this 8. It might be 9. Who knows? A little extra rep never hurt anybody. And that will make 10. So now we can come to a standing position and we're going to go into bicep curls. So same thing, up normal speed, about 1, 2 on the way down. We'll make you do 3 seconds. That would be a little mean. And bicep curls are pretty hard for me, so I think 8 might be enough. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to be a little selfish this morning. So that makes 4 for me. 5, and just get those last couple reps in. 7 and 8. All right, then we're going to take those weights to our shoulders. I'm going to take a kneel so you guys can still see me. You could do whatever you want. We're going to go overhead, hold those both in that top position. We're going to pull one down and press it up. Pull the other one down, press it up. We're going to keep doing this until we've done 8 on each side. That makes 2. And I'm counting both sides as 1 rep. So if you're counting each side as a rep, you're counting to 16. I don't think I can count that high. So that was a joke for the record. All right. And speaking of not being able to count, I did lose count once again. So we're going to call this 6 and move it into 7 and then 1 more on each side. And then we're going to go through everything 1 more time. So put down the weights for a second, shake out those arms, shake out a little of everything else, and we'll go back to the bent over position. We got 10 reps, slow on the way down. Bend forward at the hips, use a wall if you need, pull up. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful work, everybody. I see some of y'all lifting your weights. We love to see it. Remember, we want to keep the shoulder blades pinched as long as we can, thinking about pulling through our armpits. Not your actual armpit, but there is a muscle that lives right there underneath your armpit, and that's the muscle that we're using. So if you think about keeping your elbows super, super close to your sides and trying to open up that chest at the top, it does help you to use those big lats, which are great for posture. And also if they get really big, it makes your waist look smaller. So if you're trying to be a little extra skinny, then that helps too, just having a big back. All right, we got 2 more. And 1. All right, moving into those bicep curls. Again, if bicep curls are hard, you can also always go 1 at a time, but I'm going to go for both at the same time, nice and slow on the way down. Up, nice and slow on the way down. And 8 of these, I think will do the trick, as per usual. And try to keep those elbows nice and pinned. Sometimes when we have weights, we have a tendency to let those elbows trace back, and then they're in the same place and my elbow's not extended. So think about keeping them pinned to your sides, and that will help make sure that you're getting lots of load on that bicep, which does make it harder. Hate to tell you, but it also makes it more effective. And that's 7 and 8, back to that overhead position. Both guys overhead, one down at a time. Don't forget to breathe. If you're not having fun, it's not too late to start. I always say that. I think I've told y'all I coach CrossFit on the side sometimes, and we'll be like 18 minutes into a 20-minute workout. And I'll say that, and people are like, we get it. We should be having fun. I'm like, well, you're paying to be here. So I don't know what to tell you. But the best part is, you guys are here. You're not even paying. It's free. We love to see it. And keep ripping those guys out. Again, we're doing 8 per side. That's what we're aiming for. This makes 5 per side for me for a total of 10. So knock out those last couple reps. And one more per side. And put those weights down. Shake everything out. We're going to do 2 more of those big circles just for good measure to stretch those guys out. So hands to heart center, stretch up. Lead with the elbows on the way down. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Meet back in the middle. I can't remember if I said 2 or 3, but 3 sounds great. So that makes 2. And inhale. Exhale, pull the shoulder blades together. Shake those guys out. And we worked out. Good job, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you so much, Holly. That was awesome. That was awesome. All right, I'm going to turn off the recording and don't forget to check back for next Monday's motivation.